Hey guys, me Misha. Let me do my usual routine and start the rest of the mm, streamings, Twitch and Facebook, and Twitch is glitch. Start from the first time, so I go. Let me see if it will start on the second time without changing the codec. Nope. Nope. It does want me to go to the settings and change the encoder. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It's just, oops, not this time. It's unpredictable and therefore unreliable. The good news is that once it starts, it starts. Yeah, right now. Very good. We're live. Um, let's start our Facebook. Okay. Add a title. Oops. Monthly September. Month September monthly level. September. September. September monthly support. Sleep support and resistance levels on US markets. Okay, Facebook says that my web keyframe rate is too low, too high stream resolution. Bye bye. Very interesting. Come on. Come on, Facebook. We have work to do, monthly levels. I chickened out of this trade. We'll see. If it gives me an opportunity to enter, like I want to buy a call. Maybe tomorrow, maybe when it like comes to this level. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's focus on our monthly levels. We have a big list to work through. The distribution of the volume is not right anymore. It's here. So aka exhaustion volume, aka exhaustion volume. Um, um, 446, 498. So it's a, yeah, this is a transition extremum. It's a balance, so we don't need a closed manipulation signal here, but we didn't get a volume. Yeah, but it's a balance. And this is a break. Volume distribution is not right. But yeah, regardless. And this I wouldn't call a balance. Don't think so. Oops. Dollar is dollaring. Oil is oiling. MY6 is MY6ing. And RTS is RTSing. Yeah. Powerful. It's an reaction bar. We need a reaction bar to complete our. But it looks Ford, on the contrary, looks beautiful. My lovely fjord. And I got dividends this month on the 2nd of September. I got my second dividends. So I already collected dividends twice on Fjord. It's a good trade. Oracle, KHC, um, unvolumed interaction bar. We need a reaction bar. This isn't 0.5, but unvolumed interaction bar. And look at this. If this is not an exhaustion volume, it can break in 3 months easily. And still, yeah, I think I'm positioning myself in the right direction of the market. This is not any bar because it monthly bar and it cannot interact with the yearly level. So we need a transition extreme here. We need the whole shebang. I did a wild trade here though, and maybe I'll do more. Maybe we shall. There is no reason for me to discontinue the levels. However, other than volume, other than gigantic volume. Uh, Obviously, Barrick hit some ceiling. But back to monthlies. Strong interaction bar, good break. We need a reaction bar. But like, if you ask me, like right now, it looks like it wants to break. Comcast, Rostelecom, Lockheed Martin. I think it's good for short. That's what I think. It's counter trend on yearly, but it's trend on months. To know how to read it on day, need to educate myself more on gaps. This is a balance, so we don't need a close manipulation signal here. Yeah, that's a balance. Weird, but it is. There's something within me that rebels against like charting Russian stocks. They're like, it's not a free market. It's not a free market at all. This transitioning realm is not the biggest volume though, so it looks like a break more so. It's so high, but you see this like this volume is actually in support of this movement now. So douche. I mean, since we're on daily, and this is 19th of September, very positive. Uh, yes, it is. So this is the biggest volume this entire movement. Never mind, 19th. Yeah. Wait, what? Yeah. An interesting volume. It's an interesting volume we've got here. But yeah, it's not good in continuation of trend anymore, and we need to look at it short. So, never mind. Volume distribution is not bad. This volume distribution is not good. It's not good or bad, it's just short. It's like exhaustion. Yum, 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 yum. This is a this is a break with the short volume distribution. With the short volume distribution for like here. It's a break. Does it even make sense to have this as our volume? But it's good. Yeah, because this. Mm. Well, technically, this is our volume. Sign of strength. Ooh, forward bar. Support bar. Yeah. Alros is in a balance. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo, boom, boom. Yeah. Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. Well, pretty much should be the same like S&P ETF. This is a break officially. So we're changing direction. And right away we close the lead. Or we can call it, we put a floor. We found the bottom. We call it put a lead. LID on the impulse. Just started and finished right away. And it's also like this stock jerking back and forth. That's not that biggest bar, but it is like resistance level because this was it in upthrust. So this is how it works in a nutshell. And that's a correction. That's why it's so like weird. Boom, 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 boom. Can be volume spring in 3 months. Yeah, but for now it's so we wouldn't be able to short it anyway. And I think it's we don't need it on our daily watch. We'll deal with slacks later. This volume is still weird. Hello, Lily. No, that's still a no. It's yeah. It's on 1 bar rule. Do 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 boom boom. That's a break and also a 1 bar roll. So that's like a hyper mega volumed support bar. So this thing is good in continuation of the trend now. Not sure why I have this line here, but oh, it's Telefonica Brazil. But yeah, only monthless right now. That's a break as it should have been on Dick Sporting Goods. That takes no jokes about its name. And I think here it's like valid to say this was no break either. Let's keep it as it is, but it's not how the direction changes. So yeah, ITV bounced FT. We'll call it a bounce when price goes to the support resistance level and then doesn't touch it, just bounces. That's one of the form of interaction of the price with the level. That's a break on Evercore, and that's a there is no point for 0.5 yet, but that's the sign of strength. and it's in a good place. It's a good volume distribution. Ideally, we want it to be on the say interaction bar, but uh, that bar before that will do. Yeah, I did something major here, kind of like reconsidered this is also a sign of strength because there's like two bar. Technically, it's not one impulse, it's a wave, but practically, and also considering the volume distribution, that was nuts. What happened today? It was just like a power train. That was unbelievable how it happened. But yeah, now we are in a break, so we get to trade in continuation of the trend, this thing, and I think it's going to be fair. I think it's going to be fair. Maybe call um, on this thing will help. It's also still kind of possibly the wave, but also look, lower highs, lower lows, just goes down. It's a break. It's good in continuation of the trend. And that's for now as sign of strength. That's for now is the sign of strength. Guys, I don't promise you the whole list, but I'll do what I can. So, in other words, volume distribution is good. It's approaching 0.5 though, beware. Beware. Yep, continuation of the trend. It's definitely not short anymore. Why was it short though? Um, um, it holds 1046, 1044, so it's interaction bar. You see again, up thrust should not be the biggest volume of the short trend. It was a correction, so why such a volume? And why such a volume? It looks like it wants to break. What? Is the break? 917, 914. It's an interaction bar, but again, same kind of dealio. If this is correction to this impulse, Y volume is the biggest volume of, except for this, Y volume is so big. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. This is good for short. Close. Yeah. I don't know. When everything is so tight, I just, well, that kind of was the up thrust of this resistance bar level. Volume distribution is short. Slowly but surely, I think we're setting up for correction, recession, depression. I need to learn to to get it out fast. Correction, correction, recession, depression, and then you the funky voice. Correction, recession, depression. I'll work on it, I promise. So this is a test bar that also turned, as so much often it happens, into a T2. Never mind, this 0.5 doesn't matter anymore. This 0.5, we don't need it. But yeah, 911. Oops, 902. I didn't mean it that way. We are in correction here. It's Microsoft. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. It's so cute. um, that's a break. That's a break. Equal weight ETF. What's equal weight ETF even means? But look, like it's barely a break and right away reaction bar has an exhaustion volume. Not only the exhaustion volume, but the biggest volume of all times. Tell me it's not correction, recession, depression. Boom. Same deal like the stock we saw previously. It cannot. Oh, by the way, at 637, it's 7. Yeah. So now we have a new T1 and we have a new T2. Mm, but right now, we just have like months kissed it ever so gently, and volume distribution is long. Technically, ooh, yeah, look. Ay, 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 ay. Volume, boom, volume. But no, let's not do it, Mishka. Okay? Let's just not do it. For the sake of your mental health and brokerage account. Ooh. You know, big dogs, they bark like. I don't know if you hear any of that because I have like noise isolation, but something big just barked outside. Um, I don't like dogs in general. I don't think they're like suitable for urban environment, but a big dog barking is way less annoying for me than a small dog barking. Because when a big dog barks, it's like, ooh, it's an argument, you know? When a small dog barks, it's like, I'm not a sizist. Well, okay, I am. But um, I try to be mindful and politically correct about it. Uh, yeah, it's a perfect volume distribution point, perfect 0.5. It's gonna be British American Tobacco, the merchant of death. It's gonna be just beautiful here when it comes to it. When it comes to it, this guy closes the mm, sorry for the sounds I make. But yeah, same deal. I'm trying to get rid of fillers. I don't think they're good for my speech, but I'm following. Okay, ARKK continues to grind. Don't know who put it in short, but it's good for continuation of the trend. Obviously, same as this guy. This is a break, and I think this might be an accident too. PDD. Stay away from PDD stock unless you're into that kind of thing. There's so much conspiracy. Like I'm blessed not to be on the news, but I know even like in my gym, like in the sauna, believe me or not, I over well, I didn't overhear. I participated in a conversation where two dudes were talking about the whole PDD thing being a huge conspiracy. Man, I was like, come on. uh, BP, PPLC. Is it British Petroleum? What is BP PLC? PLC is British for like here. They have PLCs. Oops. It resprings the level. Moscow Exchange. You see like spring, but not quite yet. And then again, and like volume spring again. And then like on test, it resprings again. I mean, manipulates again. Sexy. And I think it's good for short or for long now. It's trying to find 0.5, in continuation of the trend, which can easily close into correction now. And if it closes, then a life, the lives will be jealous of the deaths. I can't properly translate it. It comes from a Treasure Island cartoon from my childhood. Oh, yeah, that's a humongous volume right there, but also it's a correction. And in correction, like it just throws random volumes back and forth. Um, volume distribution goes from long to short. I don't know, you guys. Either we'll have like some hyped, overhyped, super rally from here, but I more so see corrections, recession, depression. Bro, there's something psychological. I just can't get it out of my mouth fast. And that's, my friends, is the sign of strength. Not really. Let's see. So it's a break, and that's not a transition extremum yet. It needs to find one. And since it doesn't have a transition extremum, we cannot trade it in continuation of the trend. And it's not good for short. It just needs to find its levels. It's very tempting, of course, try to find the ceiling, but practically it's not a good idea. Look at these volumes. Look at this guy. Semiconductors apparently were not a thing back in 2002. No one cared about them in the midst of the bubble crisis, dot-com bubble. Bubble crisis. Can you guys imagine some guy, some TikToker was just given a sentence in Russia for making a joke about how like the besiege of St. Petersburg, Leningrad during World War II? And he made a joke on TikTok. Can you imagine like St. Petersburgers lived without bubble tea for 3.5 years during like besiege of Leningrad during World War II? It was like he got his sentence. He was let out on probation. Oh, hold on. Um, let's put this on.